It's Movie Time. It's produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I am Jordan Hanalami.
And this is It's Movie Time. And good Lord, do we have enough time?
Do we? Well,
We're talking.
we got a couple hours here to talk.
We have a 3-hour movie, Jordan.
We do.
Who's crazy enough to watch this?
We are.
I know. It's called Drive My Car, which is even more bizarre. What a title.
The simplest title for the longest and most deeply felt film.
It is prosaic. It is, I think it's partly the translation, I guess, but...
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
But we could talk about that title a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So set it up, George.
Well, we have a film that begins with within the kind of movie and television world in stage as a main character, two main characters, a couple are you kind of dive right into their most intimate point of their relationship in the bedroom, kind of talking through some storyline ideas, and this movie basically in general unfolds slowly, and you learn a lot of different things, but along the way. But the basics of it is that the man is they both work in writing and stuff for television and stage.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
This is taking me a bit to
No, that's right. Now,
not say too much.
the man, Yasuki, is
Yes.
a noted director and actor.
Yes, and his wife is a noted writer for television.
Right.
And it seems to be some of that kind of contrast of he's more of, maybe, you get a feel that he's maybe more of the artist and she's more of the kind of known pop culture, more popular
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
person working in television dramas, they emphasize.
And I thought that was a pretty sweet relationship, though odd, didn't you think? She considered she dreams up her erotic short stories while she's making love with him.
Yeah, and
Isn't that crazy?
and some of it is, yeah, it is. It's the storylines, the way they unfold and stuff, and the as you learn more about how her mind works and where her mind goes in different situations. That is the primary area that she comes back to, is that there is an erotic connection to the stories. She comes up with.
And I thought that was a pretty good beginning, although we don't get credits until 40 minutes in.
It is wild.
Jordan.
Yeah. It is. It's a pretty amazing flex for sure.
And we have to reveal that she does die.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we can't talk about this.
Exactly. It's a difficult movie to, while a slower paced drama, it does have things that unfold throughout the film, and that's one that you're right. It's hard to really talk about much of the rest of the movie without mentioning.
Yeah, she just has a cerebral hemorrhage and she dies. This is after he has seen her making love with one of the young actors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so that is, I guess, kind of an important thing to explain as well, is that he sees it, but does nothing in the moment.
Isn't it? I thought it was
everything makes more sense from that point on. As you start to
I mean,
understand.
so much of this is his reconciliation with her death, his grief, and his also coming to terms with the fact that he never said anything to her about finding her, and apparently it wasn't the only time she committed adultery.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different details of things that you find out along the way, but essentially, as it jumps, the story that her death propels the rest of the film, in which he then moves cities to, at least temporarily, to work with a group on a festival show of some sort, and putting on this play. And so the good chunk of the film takes place in Hiroshima, and, as he's assigned a driver of his car.
He is. And before we talk about the driver, the Uncle Vanya, Chekhov's play, has some things to do with what's happening to him. Yeah. It's not just that he is an acclaimed director bringing a polyglot version. There are people with all different languages Including
Absolutely.
sign language.
Is a really fascinating language is a really fascinating aspect of this movie, and in the play, I think when we talk about sitting through a 3-hour movie, especially one that's relatively slower paced, the through thread of the entire thing is Chekhov's play.
Yes.
And so that is kind of keeps you in line with the film as it moves forward, as things keep coming back to that play, his rehearsal style and things, but the storyline of that and such is what keeps you a baseline throughout.
And I'm glad you said that, because in the original short story by Haruki Murakami, not very much of Uncle Vanya appears.
Right, and I have to note how ironic it was finding out that this 3-hour film is based on a short story.
I know, in which it didn't have that much of a play
Yeah.
with Uncle Vanya, but Hamaguchi, who is the director here, took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
So he paralleled what was happening to our protagonist, what was happening in Uncle Vanya. A lot of my guess is that a lot about the disappointments in life. I think Vanya, as I remember it, is really about, because Sonia's character, who would be similar to his driver, tells us at the end of Uncle Vanya that we just have to put up with what happens in life, and we have to forge ahead. And it seemed to me to parallel them. So I was driving my car. Now, George, the car, talk to me.
Yeah, 15-year-old Saab, I believe.
Yes.
That he has maintained and he cares about, and very much cares about. Not just the car itself, but the experience of driving, because that is where he rehearses, and that is where he spends his time with what continues to be his wife's voice throughout the film as well. So she is a part of this story, not just in his mind, but also literally with your hearing from her.
Yeah, he puts in a cassette
Uh-huh.
and is playing her reading the lines from Chekhov. That's apparently how he learned them. But of course, it keeps her in his life. And this cute little Saab, blazing red, reminds me of the choice of the Alfa Romeo in, I'm thinking of little Alfa Romeo and, George, help me, and Dustin Hoffman. And how do you like that? Slipping my mind. Dustin Hoffman getting the red car after his graduation.
Oh, is it The Graduate?
Graduate.
Okay,
Right.
I was
Thank
thinking.
you.
I was thinking if it was that.
Yeah, just reminded me
I
of
remember them
that.
driving in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fun correlation, especially early love with that, and this one at the, thinking about that car later in life with him or something.
Yes.
What they seeing that relationship through.
Yeah, and red to somehow, of course, figuratively, passion and heat and all that it suggests. It's really a fine metaphor, because it's a little somber, the background, would you say? And also, George, and we need to talk probably in back talk, because we are not going to have enough time here, but I want to talk in back talk, maybe even as we open it up, about the setting, about Hiroshima, and see what you think about that. So I think, Jordan, I'm going to ask you now what you advise our audience. Here we're talking about this 3-hour international film, probably might take the Oscar for international film, and as you and I talked about, it seems to me it might qualify for Best Picture too, although we don't quite know the circumstances.
Yeah.
What would you advise our audience?
To see it, I think it is a beautiful film, and just know that it is not a fast-paced film, but it reveals throughout it. It didn't maybe resonate with me as much as some other people it has, but this movie is connecting with a lot of people. And
Sure.
It is, and I understand it. I understand why. So
Yeah.
I think it's a movie to just let wash over you and learn from, because it is a life lesson movie, and it's through experiences and conversations, and it's a beautiful film.
It's called Drive My Car.
It is.